Hey guys, it's Liberty Whispers here. I'm in bed, so if you hear sort of scratchy noises or ruffly noises, that's why. It is nearly 3 AM in the morning here, and I've just seen something that has inspired me to make a video. Now, it's not going to be a particularly relaxing video. It's not designed to be relaxing, but I'll do it soft-spoken so that, it stays within the sort of parameters of everything else I do. So the thing I saw that would be a good place to start is a video from the community's very own lovely, wonderfully lovely and extremely sweet Snarky Whispers. The video is called The Challenge to You, Heavy Hearts Against Hatred. Now chances are you've seen this already, but if you haven't and you want some context for what I'm talking about, I will put the link in the description box. But basically, to kind of reasonably quickly encapsulate what Snarky's video was about, was she came across some clips gathered from a pastor, I think from North Carolina's website, which are, for lack of a better word, kind of sickening, to be honest. This pastor is very anti same-sex relations. When I say very, it's not just a case of he disapproves. This is a man who is pretty much wishing death on anybody who lives a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender lifestyle, etc. And this, obviously, if you actually watch the video, which is linked within Snarky's video, so kind of like a Russian doll effect if you want to see that video. To get even more context, just look in the description box of Snarky's video. It's kind of like an inception of videos. Where was I? Yeah, this has obviously upset Snarky a lot, and it's understandable, because if you see the video you can see why anyone would get upset, because it is sickening. It's despicable, and it is just horrible behaviour. But bless it, has obviously really affected Snarky as somebody who has faith. To see somebody who claims to have faith act like that, and I can understand that, because even though it may be one or, well, a few bad apples in a rather large crop, I can still completely understand how that would have an effect on everybody else. And Snarky has kind of felt the need to apologise for this, and again, I can kind of understand that. But if you watch this, Snarky, by any chance, I just want you to know that, first of all, you don't have to apologise for that man and his feelings, or anybody else like him with likewise feelings. I kind of see the burden that you might feel because of him being a man of quote-unquote faith, and because you yourself have faith as well. But it's really not for you to apologise, and you shouldn't feel like you need to. But I see what you're doing, and I think it is extremely commendable and extremely admirable, and I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and I think it definitely helps regarding anybody who might bunch all Christians together in the sense and base, it prevents, or it helps prevent people tarring every Christian with the same brushes as that particular pastor. Something that I found extremely inspirational watching Snarky's video is that from this really horrible, wretched thing has sprung something that is the complete opposite, something that is full of hope and just full of love, and it kind of really is the counteraction to it, and it's a wonderful thing because on one hand you do have this sense of deep-rooted hate which is just horrible and wretched and just despicable, but yeah, from that horrible situation and that horrible sort of area that's being produced, Snarky's managed to give a sense of awareness and a sense of hope, which is a wonderful gift to bestow upon people, and it's even sweeter when it's brought from the roots of something so horrible. I tend to find myself being, trying to be at least an optimistic person and take the best from every bad situation and every bad thing placed in front of me. And it can be hard at times, but you know, when I see something like Snarky's video, I find that very reassuring, and I find that like a breath of fresh air. The unfortunate thing is, though, hate of that level is always going to exist. It's going to exist within religion, and it's going to exist outside of religion. It's just a horrible side effect of the human condition, I guess. And it's something that I don't think will ever be conquered, but, you know, rather than looking for a direct cure, you know, we need to start looking at how to work around it, how to kind of outmaneuver it, how to kind of take it over and put it in our rear view mirror. And a big part of that will stem from talking. It's such a simple tool, but it's such an effective weapon when used with good intentions and placed in the right hands. In the wrong hands, as that video proves, it can be devastating, and it can be just so destructive. But if you seize that power and you take the power of speech and you take your feelings and you verbalize them, then amazing things can happen. That's how people can join together. That's how good causes and good fights are won. And when it comes to hateful people and methods of hate and just sheer horrid projections of hate like that one, that's when we need to counteract. And rather than apologize for other people's horrible viewpoints, for other people's viewpoints that we have no control over and that we cannot prevent, because as much as I would like to and as much as everybody else would like to, this is something that's not going to go away, and it's not something that can be cured. It's a disease that cannot be cured, but there are alternatives and there are ways around it, and that is to think positively and to communicate and to talk and to work together. And that stems from simple realizations. Now, I don't mean to be dogmatic with my thoughts, because as an individual I am not religious. I don't have faith. I think religion as a solid construct is a bad thing. I think faith is a wonderful thing, and people might ask, but they're both the same. Well, they're not really, because I find, from my viewpoint anyway, you might disagree, you might totally agree, I don't know, but from my point of view, religion seems very structured, very dogmatic. It's very much a case of thou will and thou won't, and it's very much a case of something that's taught and in some cases indoctrinated with people, whereas faith is something that an individual holds on to. Faith is something that brings like-minded people of a positive thought together. I have a lot of respect for people who have faith. I've met an abundance of lovely people with faith, and I've also met some very pig-headed, ignorant and straightforward with no accessibility, flexibility or what have you for any other options, and I feel sorry for them. I don't feel anger for these people. I feel sorry for them because the thing is, this world is full of possibilities, full of explained possibilities, and if you can be open to possibilities, then that's a wonderful thing. But if you close yourself off and seal yourself in this little vacuum with no leniency or leeway, then I kind of feel sorry for you, because you are limiting yourself to what you can experience and what you can feel and encounter. But I digress, and by the time this goes up, it probably won't make much sense. It'll probably be a jigsaw piece with all the pieces just put together. This is what happens when I babble. I tend to avoid serious or quasi-serious topics on my channel. I've had, as some people may remember, somewhat of a run-in with a member in a community regarding serious topics. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic to have debates, as long as that's that, and as long as you can come into any topic with an open mind, and you can listen and you can respect other people's opinions, as long as they're not hateful or damning, then that's fine. But it's when things become very black and white with no room for shades of grey that I dislike, and that's something I dislike. But again, I digress. I've forgotten what I was talking about. I've lost my train of thought. I think I was trying to lead on to talking about realizations. The reason being is because the realizations of many things, whether they be grand or whether they be small, is incredible in its very core and its very essence. Something I've realized recently is just how fragile and how precious life is, and how fragile and precious time is, whether you believe this is your one and only shot at life, or whether you believe this is one of many lives or one of two. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's a realization of how much time we have, how much opportunities we are given, how many days are placed upon our life cycle. Each and every one is an absolute and incredible precious gift. And this is what I don't understand about hate mongers and hateful speech, is that with this very most precious and fragile of gifts that we've been given, whether it be by Mother Nature, whether it be by God, whether it be by a higher power that we do not know about, where it comes from doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that we have it, and what we do with it when we have it. And for those who spend it fueling fires of hatred and animosity, I feel bad for those people, because they're wasting this wonderful thing that we have, and for what? To cause misery and suffering and pain to others. It's nonsensical. Shouldn't we be spending what time we do have making ourselves and others happy, making this existence, this life count for something that's worthwhile, something that's beneficial, something that can help, can energize and can motivate and engage with others? I talk about life being precious, and it really is, and this is why I don't understand, in particular, hatred towards people of same-sex relationships. Because like life, love is incredibly precious and is a wonderful gift. And if you're lucky enough to find it, hold on to it, embrace it, just wallow in it, just wade in the river of love, just fully immerse yourself in it, because so many people search for it their entire lives and never find it. And if you find it, be it with a member of the opposite sex or the same sex, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you found it. You've been lucky enough to be given this gift from whoever it comes from. Again, it doesn't matter. You have this wonderful thing, this thing that can do so much, not just for you but for other people. And I just don't understand when people use all of this that they're given, all of this that they have at their disposal, all of this which can do so good, and they use it to do so many bad things. It kind of breaks my heart a little. And here is where I can understand Snarky wanting to apologise. But it's not on her to apologise. She doesn't have to account for other people's actions. They do, and if they show no remorse for wasting what they're given, for using it for horrible means, then sure, we can be angry at them, and we have every right to be. But I think it's more fitting to feel sorry for them, because at the end of the day they're missing out, and it's their time, and it's their opportunities, and it's their very essence and being that they're wasting. Hate is a very powerful thing, but love is even stronger. And if we can embrace love to overshadow hate, then we as people can become stronger.